Good Monday afternoon to you. Chris here, checking in live, encouraging you to spread the podcast. I hope this message finds you doing well. Today's afternoon edition of Coffee and Conversation. I don't have coffee today. I got Diet Coke, but it's Empowering Monday. And there are two questions I want to ask you about. I want you to think about. Just going to be on here real quick. So, how y'all doing? You having a good day? You having a good Monday? This weekend, I had the opportunity to go to Bloomington, Illinois, just to get out of the house, get away. I went to, DSW. I went to this grocery store that I like to go to because the grocery store has a lot of keto options, more so than are in my city. So I wanted to go over there and check that out. And sometimes going to Bloomington is challenging. It's challenging for me because I remember every time that I'm in Bloomington, I sit and think about the fact that I used to have a friend that lived there. A good friend of mine, you've probably heard me talk about her in the podcast where I did Rethinking Busy, or Am I a Good Friend? And I talk about my good friend that passed away named Toya Lynn Ward. And she used to live in Bloomington. And when I go to Bloomington, every time I get ready to leave or go by this apartment complex, I think of her all the time. And what I think about most is I think about missed opportunities to reach out, missed opportunities to connect or try to connect. I can see some of the ones that I made where I talked on the phone or whatever, but I often think, what if life could have been different in the sense that, when I was there in 2013, before she had passed away in 2014, what would life look like if I had uh, reached out more? And, I know on a personal level, on a reality level, that there are things that I can't change. I can't go back and change the past. She's no longer on this side of the journey living with me in order for me to have a conversation about it, in order for me to do anything as it relates to that. But what I thought about most and why I bring that up is I think about choices. Choices. What choices do we have in our relationships, whether they're personal relationships, professional relationships, romantic relationships, just your choices as an individual each and every day in every way. And that's what I was thinking about, on Saturday. But even so this morning, I was thinking about the idea of choices again, and how it's a choice. It's a choice to love. It's a choice to contribute. It's a choice to be angry. It's a choice to be frustrated. It's a choice to be stuck. It's a choice to be monogamous. It's a choice to decide that that's not what you're going to do. We're faced with choices each and every day, or better yet, if we think about this, I think about like the scripture, the phrase, the choice that we have with our words. We can choose the words that we speak, and realizing that the power of our words lies in our tongue. There's life and death in the power of tongue, is what I'm trying to say. But, our words have power. It's a choice. Either we're going to speak in ways that are beneficial, speak in ways that are helpful, or we speak in ways that bring curses. We get to choose which way it is that we speak. We get to choose how we see things. Choices are all around us. And I was thinking about that today, and then, how it's solidified even more. And I hope that's the right word to use for it. But I was reading on this social post, uh, social media post, and they were talking about the host of The Real. I think because she was one of the hosts in The Real was announcing, baby bump, and that she's having, expecting a baby with her husband. Now, I don't know any of The Real people hosts personally. I mean, I see some of their posts on social media just like everybody else, and I don't have an opinion about their life because I don't know them. But here's why I bring it up, because it's choices. Because one of the fascinating and amazing things about the internet is that it keeps the history of information. keeps the history of things people have said, the video clip, the post of what you said. Think about, that's one of the things we like about Facebook and Facebook memories, is that it can go back a year, 2 years, or at least back to, it's been around since what, 2009, and go back and basically catalog all of the things that people have posted on any topic, whether there's people you know or celebrities or whomever. That information is still present. And people, today like to go back and remember what people said in different times or in different years of their life and give commentary on it. That's a whole job for some people. Totally cool. Not mad about it at all. But what I thought about it most in how it relates to today's discussion is we're talking about choices. Choices. Now, however people feel about, that lady on the speaker on the real, it's totally up to them. I'm not here to debate that. But here's what I think about choices, because it came up in a group and people were going in. They were like, oh, this and oh, that and oh, this and oh, that. And I thought about, the idea of what I said at the beginning about choices and how we choose to love, we choose to be faithful, we choose to pursue, we choose to acquire, we choose to obtain, we choose to withdraw, we choose to not act, we choose to respond, we choose all of those things. And I was thinking about relational experiences, be it professional, be it personal, be it romantic, and about how many times in my own life I made choices or I didn't make a choice. Or the harsh reality that I had in relationships is sometimes while I was choosing an action or choosing a person, sometimes they didn't choose me back. That was just a harsh, reality that I've had to face in relationships or choose, or, just think about that in the concept of choice. And I posted to the group that, I thought that people, were entitled to their opinions and their feelings about this celebrity's words, her actions, and what her news meant. I wasn't here to disagree or agree about their opinion. That's what they thought, It's online commentary. People have free-for-all online commentary. But what I thought most, the reason why I'm making this video on Empowering Monday, is realizing that sometimes when people say no, or when people say they don't want to do certain things, sometimes it's not just that there's a choice of the word no and they're emphatic no to not wanting to do it. Sometimes their reason or their statement for no is that they don't want to pursue, obtain, acquire those things with you. That's a harsh truth. That's a reality that people, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying we as individuals always have the ability to choose, to decide what it is we're going to pursue, decide who we're going to pursue and obtain and acquire things with. Those are choices that we get to make. And we're always able to change our mind. That doesn't necessarily mean that people won't necessarily be disappointed, be hurt. We don't get to control their response, but we get to be active participants in our life to make choices. And why does this matter today? Because I know I've said a lot of people, and I feel somebody in the back going, what this got to do with my life? Here's what it has to do with your life. This is why. Here's the question I want you to always be thinking about. Think about this question. I'm getting it. I wrote it down because it is important. Here's the question. You ready? Write it down. I want you to think on it. And I want you to email the podcast, encouraging you spiritpodcast@gmail.com, and let me know what you think. What choices am I making? Do they align with what I want? What choices am I making? Do they align with what I want? That's all I got. That's just something I was thinking about today, because we get to choose. We get to choose, so many things in our life. And the question we should always ask, what choices are we making, and do they align with what they want? And how do we hold space when it no longer aligns with what we want? Guess what you get to do? You get to make a different choice. You get to pursue something different. You get to do something different. It's totally okay to do that. And I know sometimes that's hard, but that's the reality. And I thought about that, That's why I bring it up, because I was thinking about that in relational experiences with people that are present and people that are gone. I made choices. I made choices to pursue. I made choices to not pursue. I made choices to reach out and be a good friend. I made choices to not be a good friend. I made choices, all the time. I think that the challenge is sometimes I've not thought about the consequences of those choices, or sometimes the challenge has been I've only been thinking about me, or I totally disconnected the fact that sometimes they might be connected to other people. And not that I would make a different choice, but I need to be cognizant and very aware of that. And that we get to choose. We're not necessarily stuck. It's not the only way that there is. It's just the only way that there is right now. In this present moment. It could change. And will we be the conduit that makes it to be so? That's all I got. I hope what I've said makes sense. Think about your choices. I know I use a roundabout way to talk about it, but it's real deal. What are your choices? What choices are you making? And do they align with what you want? Peace and all that good stuff.